Hi, welcome to tutorial 4. Okay, we're just going to zoom in, Z for zoom, spacebar, and we're just going to draw a window around this door. I want to introduce some new line types into this drawing. I'm going to go, everything that we're doing here is through our layers, and so I'm going to go to layers to introduce some line types. Here you can see line type on every layer. Here's layer 0, which is got a check mark beside it, so is our default layer. That's what we draw on. All our lines are white when we start drawing. We've made a layer for door, this color, continuous line type. Wall, same thing. This is a color continuous. So on our door layer, I'm just going to double click on continuous, and as you can see, it's the only line type that's here. I'm going to load something just from AutoCAD. We are going to load, I don't need border. Center line I use for beams and so on. So we'll highlight center, press OK. Now it's part of our drawing. Back in, actually, back in and load. I'm going to go down to dashed. I use this for footings. Okay, we'll load that one, and we'll load one more. We'll get down here to hidden. Okay, we'll load hidden line type. So we've got a few line types in here now that we can work with. We just press OK. We can get out of the layers dialog box. This particular line right here, it's a continuous or a solid line. I'm going to just go into the properties toolbar here, and I'm going to change it to a hidden line type. If I escape, you can see now it's a dashed line. I can manipulate that line more right just using properties dialog box. If I type in props props, okay, and this is my properties dialog box. Some people leave it running continually. If I click on this line, highlight that line, it shows me that that's the color, which is by layer. The layer that it's on is the DR door layer. Line type is hidden. Okay, but my line type scale is 1. I'm going to change this to 0.3. Just click anywhere here, and you can see it's updated. If I escape out of here, it's updated to a nicer looking hidden line, the kind that I like. Okay, again, a lot of people will leave this dialog box up. I'm going to get rid of it so I have as much drawing screen as possible. Okay, with my ruler mouse, I'll zoom down. Now that we've made a symbol for a door, we don't want to keep redrawing it over again. And so we're going to turn it into what they call a block, something that we can insert into our drawing anytime we want. Okay, so I'm going to zoom. I'm going to get on here. I'm going to B for block. Okay, and this gets us into the block definition dialog box. The name of our block, I'm just going to turn my cap locks on. Door. Okay, now this would be the insertion point of the block. Where do I want to insert it? Okay, well, let's pick that corner. It's totally up to you where you want to insert it. I'm going to pick this corner though. Okay, so over here we've got the objects. We're going to select the objects. What's going to happen when we turn it into a block? Well, all the objects I select are going to get converted into a block, or we can delete them. Okay, let's delete them for now. Okay, so select objects. Okay, this is one of the nice things about having layers to work with, and a nice way of working with layers. So I'm right in the middle of the block command, and I want to be able to turn some layers off. So I use apostrophe. Okay, that breaks into the block command, and I figured out that to do layers on the command prompt I need to put a hyphen. So I put a hyphen, and then I get into LA for layers. Okay, and I press enter. Okay, so two things have happened. The apostrophe is broken into the block command, and I am now in the layer command on the command prompt, not the dialog box. Okay, so what do I want to do now that I'm in the layer command? I want to turn a layer off. OFF, enter. Okay, what layer do I want to turn off? I'm going to turn off the DR. Okay, and I don't think I had my cap locks on when I made that, so DR. Okay, enter. Okay, it should be working. I should press enter one more time. Okay, and my door layer is off. Now that worked really well, and you can see that I'm back into the block command. If you look down at the command prompt, it says resuming block command, and the only thing I did wrong is I turned off the wrong layer. So let's apostrophe to break back in. Okay, hyphen LA, and I can go in and change this in my PGP file to something that's a little easier. I don't have to type in the hyphen. Okay, enter. Okay, I'm going to turn on, enter, DR, turn the door layer back on, enter. Now what else do I want to do? I want to turn off, enter. I want to turn wall off, enter, enter. Okay, do you see how that worked? And if you look down at the bottom, I'm still in the block command because I pressed the apostrophe. It's asking me to select objects, so there. I'm going to just select. That was so easy. I don't have any other lines in my way. Okay, and then I'm going to press enter to accept that. Okay, so I've made a block called door. I've deleted it from my drawing. Okay, block units are inches, and I'm just going to press OK. Okay, so back into the layer command. Okay, on. Okay, I'm going to press what is that? Asterisk, I guess. Okay, that means all. Okay, okay, so all my layers are turned back on. My door has been turned into a block inside this drawing. To find it, I want to press the insert command, I for insert. So I'm going to scroll down here. There's only one block in this drawing, and that's the door block. Okay, so when I put it in, I'm just going to specify on screen. My scale is just going to be 1 to 1. I'm not going to scale it down half or anything like that. And my rotation is just, I'm going to bring it in at an angle 0. I'm not going to rotate it at all, although I could here. Okay, I could rotate that block 90 degrees if I needed to, or 45 if I was in a 45-degree wall. And I'm just going to go OK. So there's my block. Okay, my insertion point is I'm going to pick this corner, and there I go. Okay, my door is back in. Okay, now the only thing to add with blocks is that's a block within this drawing, and I can find it, and I can put it into a different drawing when I'm working on a new drawing, but there's an easier way or a nicer way of doing it. It's called a write block, and that is where we take this particular block and we put it onto our hard drive so we can access it easier or easily from any drawing that we're working on. So we'll just do W block. Okay, and again, we can set that up in our PGB file to be WB or whatever we want. Okay, instead of doing objects, okay, we're going to do a block. Okay, and what block? Well, we're going to do the door, the only block in this drawing. Okay, everything's been set up on this block. It knows where its base point is. It knows what objects. In this particular case, we're going to leave the block in the drawing. Okay, here's where we're going to put it to. Okay, you can just browse. And I'm in a file on tutorials. Okay, if I go on my desktop, I have a file I've made called tutorials. Tutorial. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Click into it. No, okay. Let's just save. Okay, save. Okay. Okay, so replace existing. I guess I clicked twice. Okay, we'll replace it. Okay, now what can we do? Okay, let's start a new drawing. Okay, template. I'm just going to accept the AutoCAD template. Okay, so I'm now in a new drawing. There's that grid. I'm going to turn it off. Okay, off. Okay, I want to insert. No, I tell you what. Let's go to AutoCAD Design Center, ADC. Enter. Okay, so this is an Explorer, a Windows Explorer type thing. It's showing me if my open drawings. Okay, so I have drawing 1, the one I just made. Okay, and I have tutorial 4 where we were before. If I go into tutorial 4 and I go blocks, come on, work. Drawing 1, I have nothing. Tutorial 4, wonder why it's, oh, there we go, blocks. There's my door block. Okay, in tutorial 4, I can bring it and just drag it right into my drawing, this new drawing. Okay, zoom down or whatever. Here, we'll go zoom, extents. And there's that. You can see behind the dialog box here, or behind the AutoCAD Design Center. I've just inserted that. I've inserted it from drawing 4. If I go to folders, okay, and again on my desktop, tutorials, tutorials, okay, E is not accessible. I'm clicking all over the place here. Okay, let's go to tutorials. And there in tutorials, there's drawing 1, there's tutorial 4 drawing, and there's a separate file called door. And I can bring that in as well. See, there it is, and I can click right here. Okay, enter, okay, enter, enter to get through the different things. Okay, I zoom down. Let's get rid of this. Okay, and there's the 2 blocks. Okay, let's get out of this new drawing. I'm just going to click it off. Save changes, no. And I'm back into tutorial 4. Okay, so I think that's enough for tutorial 4. We'll move on to tutorial 5 shortly. Bye for now.